good, and there were 3 listed races to enjoy. The opening contest, a sprint handicap over 5 furlongs. Clarendon House went off the 9-4 favourite, and Mark Johnson is your commentator.
And they're off for Ladies' Day at Sandown, and it is Arecibo who gets the first call to the outside, can to can, and up against the far side rail is Clarendon House. Then there's a break of a length and a half to Dream Composer, who is racing alongside Corker. An outrun at the back of the field is Dubai Station as they zip through the first quarter of a mile, and it's Clarendon House who now has the lead. In the centre of the course is Can to Can, and between those two is Arecibo as they go through halfway. Corker is stalking this early battle for the lead in 4th. Ridden along in 5th is Dream Composer, and Dubai Station still at the back of the pack. They're racing on now down towards the final furlong and a half, and as Clarendon House has already checked out, it is now Arecibo and Corker who are the two who now duel for the lead. Inside the final furlong, and Corker takes the lead. Now battling back, Arecibo against the far side rail. Can to Can, and then Dream Composer. Half a furlong to go. Corker has the lead. Dream Composer, however, is lunging, and it's close. Dream Composer or Corker, followed by Arecibo and Can to Can.
Dream Composer at 3-1 beats Corker 5-2 and 6 ran. Clarendon House, the favourite here, most disappointing, having made the running against the rail. He dropped away quite tamely in a first-time tongue tie. Corker, who normally misses the break, didn't this time. He got a good draft into the race, got to the front and traded very short in running, but he was run down by Dream Composer, who in the end did it quite readily under Dougie Costello, picking up strongly in the final 50 yards.
At what point did you think you were in with a squeak of winning that?
I kind of got going inside the 2, and when Mimi Nichols' horse was drifting a bit left. Look, at my old boy, he's not silly, he knows where the line is, and he's probably won with his ears a bit pricked. That's why I wasn't too sure if he got his head up or not. He's had 2 quick runs on fast ground, and he never let himself go, so it probably took him 2.5 furlongs to actually enjoy it. And then when he got going, when it got in between Mealy and when Nichols is on my left, he took off then and won with probably a little bit up his sleeve.
How would you describe the ground out there?
It's prepped for tomorrow. It's well watered. It's probably on a fast, flat horse. It's probably dead good, slow side good.
Yeah, they had a lot of rain on the Tuesday, I think it
tomorrow
was.
Will be absolutely stunning ground tomorrow.
Okay. So this guy, once he found that he could actually let himself down, he actually started getting some confidence?
Yeah, he's a little bit cute, you know. He's stepping up a level every time. This year he started off at the highest mark, and I said to James, I think the form he's in mentally, he'll progress on. And James does a marvellous job. He has a small string, but I think that's about his 30th winner in the last sort of season and a half or something out with 25 horses. And he's been winning within his comfort. Now he's stepping into the next bracket where they probably don't stop as much, and he probably needs this cutting the ground to help him. If they went really fast over 6 furlongs, it probably would suit him just as much. But he's entitled to progress again with the form he's in.
They went quite fast here today, didn't they?
Yeah, the first two and a half they did, but when he won at Goodwood, I think we got up to the first two furlongs, was running at 44, 45 miles an hour when he won, but he held his pitch a little bit better that day, and I just think that the 2 quick runs on fast ground, it took him a furlong and a half to really allow himself to let himself down.
Yeah. That's you done today, isn't it?
Yeah, as my old colleague used to say, 1 ride, 1 winner.
It's a perfect record, 100%. Definitely. Where are you tomorrow?
I'm in France tomorrow. Mr. Beckett has found the numbers, he shouldn't be in touch.
You've already done your prep work for the race?
I've done my prep. Yeah. As I say, it's 11.5 grand for 5th, and after that's a bonus.
What time do you head out? Is it tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I fly out at 9 AM from Heathrow, so get back tomorrow night.
Well, very best of luck and congratulations here.
Cheers, Lydia. Thank you.
Thanks.
Second race on the card, the Dragon Stakes, a listed event for 2-year-olds over 5 furlongs. Born to Rock, who won very impressively on his debut, was the 6-4 favourite.
And they're off in the Dragon Stakes. Nazalan broke alertly, so too Q's Lightly, races down the centre of the course. Over on the far side rail is Hala Emirati. Also right in the mix early is Sergeant Wilco, and over on the far side is Born to Rock. The two who are slightly outpaced early are Killian together with Hackman, and now they're racing through the halfway point. A 3-way go for the lead. Q's Lightly in the centre of the course. Between rivals, Sergeant Wilco. Over on the far side rail is Hala Emirati. Nazalan being ridden just in behind them, and then Born to rock. Hackman has clear sailing down the centre of the course. Killian now shuffled back to the rear of the field. They're racing on inside the final furlong and a half, and it's Hackman and Nazalan who are now the first two. Now whipping right round the outside is Killian in the hands of Ryan Moore, and inside the final furlong it's Killian who has now gone on, and he's putting distance between he and his toiling rivals. Killian is coming home in a rump, and Killian is much the best of the Dragon Stakes. He wins by a wide margin over Hackman and Nazalan.
Wildly impressive stuff from Killian at 9-4 under Ryan Moore, beating Hackman, who was 14-1. Well, when a 2-year-old can win a listed race over 5 furlongs by 6 lengths, and it's time to sit up and take notice. He couldn't get a run down on the inside, and Ryan had to switch him right round the field, and then he quickened up and cleared right away from his rivals in the closing stages. He's value for more than the 6 lengths that he won, given the trouble that he got in running, and surely a group race could be his for the taking.
Killian was just really impressive in the Dragon Stakes. Ryan Moore was on board. How impressed were you?
Yeah, very impressed. Look, he obviously took his first couple of races, was maybe slightly disappointing. He won an ordinary race at Newcastle, but he felt like a horse that was still learning even today. And speed was, you know, kind of everyone got involved quite early there, and we were out of it. But he picked up really well, and I was very impressed by him.
When you say he was still learning even today, we could see it from he was a little bit tardy into his stride out of the gates. Was there anything else that struck you from your position?
Yeah, well, as soon as I got to the front, he felt like I shouldn't have been there. And even putting up there, he didn't want to go over the road and cantering down. Something caught his eye. He's still not sure what he's here for yet, so he's an exciting horse.
I suppose that probably accounts for why it took him 3 starts to actually get his head in front.
I'd say so, yeah.
What do you think his trip is going to be in the short term?
He's a lot of speed. He was very comfortable the whole way, but he won't have a problem with 6.
Okay. And you think he's ready to go up in grade, surely, after a success like that?
Oh, yeah.
Looking ahead to tomorrow and the Eclipse, you're on board Paddington. It's a small field. What are you thinking? It's going to be a tactical affair, isn't it?
I suppose all races are tactical affairs.
That's true.
So mine's a straightforward horse, and I've loved everything he's done this year. He's out early, so this is already his 5th race. It's very impressed from the Irish Guineas, very impressed from Ascot, and look, we're taking again. There's a few questions he has to answer against an older mare and going up in trip, but it's a good thing. We'll find this out tomorrow, and looking forward to him.
If you had to sort of pinpoint his one asset, what would you say it is?
It's a lot of class.
Aidan was talking about his ability to quicken off a fast pace, and he was likening him to St Mark's Basilica. Do you see any similarities?
Yeah, well, look, obviously they're both by Siuni, and this fella's out of a Monjou mare, and they're both Guineas winners. So.
And they're both coming here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, best of luck tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The Coral Marathon was next. Listed status for this race, 2 miles the trip. Yabir, the odds-on favourite.
And they're off in the Coral Marathon. And Yabir is taken back by William Buick, and he's going to try and get some cover, but the field fan out across the course. Very wide is Sleeping Lion through the very early stages. Ryan Moore in no hurry to get across, but he has got the overall lead. Leading the main group is Ardea, who leads the group over on the far side, followed by Raymond Tusk, and then Ocean Wind, who's racing in advance of Estacas, and Yabir is last of the 6, and now Sleeping Lion is beginning to drift across, having gone clear, and now he will move across towards the inside rail with a circuit to go in the Coral Marathon. So it is Sleeping Lion out in front by 2 lengths. Raymond Tusk and Ardea in a dispute of 2nd and 3rd. It's just Ardea now who has taken 2nd. Raymond Tusk is in 3rd. A length and a half way to Ocean Wind in 4th. Estacas is in 5th, and as they reach the top of the hill, Yabir is at the back of the field. So into the top turn, it is Sleeping Lion and Ryan Moore out in front by 2.5 lengths to Holly Doyle and Ardea racing just in 2nd. Raymond Tusk and James Doyle in 3rd. Still just over 2 lengths to Ocean Wind and Jim Crowley in 4th position. and then Estacas and Billy Loughnane on the outside of William Buick and Yabir, as now they make the turn by the Coral Eclipse start. They have 1.25 miles to go at this point of the Coral Marathon, and it is Sleeping Lion who still leads the way. Sleeping Lion by 2 lengths. Ardea races in second. Ahead away in third, Raymond Tusk to the inside rail. Closing up now to within 1.5 lengths, Ocean Wind in fourth. A further length back to Yabir, and a neck away on the outside is Estacas. And now they've gone through halfway, and they make the run now towards the end of the back straight. Sleeping Lion still has the lead in his bid for his 6th career success. He also bids to give Ryan Moore a 4th victory in the Coral Marathon. It is Sleeping Lion. So on the outside, Ardea racing in second. Raymond Tusk is in third. Ocean Wind on his comeback run now gets a little closer in fourth. Yabir smuggled into the race on the inside by William Buick, and at the back of the pack is Estacas, and they're about to lead the back straight behind them. They're entering now the final 5.5 furlongs, and it is Sleeping Lion by just over a length to Ardea, who is now in a clear second place. Raymond Tusk in third, and in fourth is Ocean Wind. Yabir is off the bit for the first time. He's now just been pushed along by William Buick, urging him to close. Estacas at the back of the field, 3.5 furlongs to go, and they're in line for home. Ardea now lays it down to Sleeping Lion. These two now matching strides. Raymond Tusk 2 lengths away. On the outside is Ocean Wind. Yabir is picking up, and now he's got a seam to challenge on the outside of Ardea. The back marker is Estacas. Down towards the final 1/4 mile. Ardea's lead is reduced to only a neck. Yabir beginning to grind it out down the wide outside. Ocean Wind is trying to rally. No more from Raymond Tusk or from Sleeping Lion. A furlong to go in the Coral Marathon, and it is Yabir. He never makes it easy for himself. He's driven clear. Yabir now by 3 lengths to in second Ardea, and in third Ocean Wind. But Yabir is simply too good, and Yabir has taken the Coral Marathon. In the end, it was close to second between the rallying Ocean Wind on the outside of Ardea.
Yabir gets the job done by 3.5 lengths. He was 3s on. Ardea was second at 11-1 and 6 ran. Well, Yabir ran in the Ascot Gold Cup over 2.5 miles. He was given a very patient ride there, and he made quite good late headway in that race. Here, back to 2 miles. He hit a bit of a flat spot turning in when they started to pick the pace up, but he ran on strongly. He's better than a listed competitor. He's a Group 1 performer at his best, and he's back on track now, and perhaps they'll stick to 2 miles, maybe the Goodwood Cup next.
Yabir has just won the Coral Marathon. William Buick was on board in the colours of Godolphin for Charlie Appleby, of course. Congratulations. I've seen Yabir keen for the first time, I think, when he was did he get just a little bit nudged into at the start?
Yeah, that was only for a few yards when he got sandwiched between the 2 horses, and it just set him alight a little bit. So he couldn't race like that for 2 miles, so I had to get him back in, and once I did, he got in a lovely rhythm, and he was taking me the whole way, and the pace was even the whole way, so you know, it was you could have come from anywhere in that race, but I thought he built into the race lovely, and you know, when I asked him, he picked up well, so it's probably, I would say it's probably the absolute maximum of how far I'd want to go. You could easily come back to mile 6. So, but he's proven out that he does get the trip. Although I think it's as far as he'd want to go for sure.
So that partly explains how you rode him in the Gold Cup before that.
That's how he races.
Yeah.
And you know, people sometimes forget that he won a Breeders' Cup Turf around Delmar racing like that, a Belmont Derby racing like that. So that's the way he races. He warms into his races, and you know, sometimes it looks great and sometimes it just doesn't work. But today we just got the balance right, and you know, he was entitled to win in that company. Yeah, it's lovely to get him back to winning. He's been such a good horse over the years.
What kind of race do you think would suit him next?
I'm not sure what the plan will be, but I think obviously now he's won over 2 miles. It always gives the confidence to his future targets over the distance. I guess the obvious races are, you know, your Goodwood Cups, Irish Ledgers, and you know, he still retains plenty of class. So I'm sure those races will be under consideration.
Okay. Looking at our next race, you've had a newcomer Arabian Crown for Charlie. What, if anything, can you tell me about him?
Yeah, he's a nice horse. Obviously having his first run, so you know, he will learn plenty and we will learn plenty.
Okay, and looking ahead to tomorrow, I've already had a chat with Ryan about Paddington. How are you looking forward to riding Emily Upjohn in the clips?
Yes, exactly. Really looking forward to it. Obviously only 4 runners, but it's a real good race, as it always is, and you know, I think we're all looking forward to it.
It's going to be an interesting positional affair, isn't it, with just the 4 runners and where you might want to be?
Yes, exactly. It's going to be, you know, everyone's going to play cards close to their chest, and but look, no one's going to be too far away from each other in a 4-runner race. So you know, everyone's going to keep an eye on each other. That's for sure.
And looking at her runs, which I'm sure you have done, although this will be the first time you've ridden her?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think her major asset is?
Well, I haven't watched her, and obviously I did ride her in the racecourse gallop last week, and you know, she feels great. She's a supreme traveller, and she's got a turn of foot. So she's a very classy filly, and you know, she has all the attributes that you need at that level.
And do you regard Paddington as the main threat, or should we be thinking about William Haggis's horse as well?
I think you certainly should think about Dubai Owner for sure. He's a very classy horse, and you know, he's proven himself in Australia. He ran very well in Hong Kong, and you'd imagine the track here will suit him. Obviously Paddington, he's a 3-year-old, gets the weight, and he's a top-class horse.
It's all adding up to being an excellent eclipse tomorrow.
Certainly is.
Very best of luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Novice Stakes was next. It was over 7 furlongs. Arabian Crown quite well found in the market. A newcomer for Charlie Appleby and William Buick, the favourite.
And they're off. Racing over 7 furlongs in the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Novice Stakes. Little bit green leaving the starting stalls was Devil's Point to the inside. Also racing greenly at the back of the field, Stand Back and Luck, and so too Happy Chandler. And it is Judge Frank, with the previous racecourse experience, who has got the early lead, with Overlooked racing around the outside in second. Devil's Point didn't break that sharp, but he's made a good move early, and he's holding the rail position now in third, with Star Law in fourth position. Wild Waves is in fifth, Maximum Dividend is in sixth. Then in seventh, Arabian Crown around the outside of Blue Collar as they go through the halfway point. Ridden along at the back of the field is Happy Chandler, and last but one is Stand Back and Luck. They're in line for home. They're racing down towards the final 3 furlongs. And it's Judge Frank who still has the lead over Overlooked, racing in second. Star Law angles to their outside. Devil's Point looks for a seam towards the inside rail. Next is Maximum Dividend. He's now just gone by Wild Waves. And now Arabian Crown is switching out, and at the moment has got a lot to do from there as Blue Collar tries to stay on towards the inside rail. It is now Star Law who strikes and goes on. Star Law to Overlook now in second. Maximum Dividend down the outside with Devil's Point also staying on. Arabian Crown only in fifth. They've got another 100 yards to go. It's Star Law who leads by a neck as they come up towards the line. It's close. Star Law and Maximum Dividend towards the near side. Lunge right on the line to make that very tight. Arabian Crown was staying on. So too was Wild Waves and Devil's Point.
Could be a good novice this. Star Law 9-2. Beats Maximum Dividend 33-1. Arabian Crown 5-4. Favourite back in third, 10 round. Well, Star Law just clings on for Ryan Moore over on the far side from Pat Dobbs on Maximum Dividend. Good finish. Star Law first to strike for home. He was always prominent, and he's just held on from the strong travelling Maximum Dividend, who picked up well towards the outside of the field. And in behind the favourite in the Godolphin Blue, Arabian Crown was very green throughout the race, but he picked up in good style in the closing stages, and he'll be sure to win next time up, maybe stepped up to a mile. This could be a good novice. The 4:15 was the Gala Stakes listed race over 10 furlongs. Poker Face, the 6-4 favourite, and Saga 13-8.
And they're off. This is the Davis Insurance Solutions Gala Stakes listed. Savvy Victory just a step slow away, and it will be Saga who takes them through the early stages, and Saga has gone on to a lead of a length and a half. Poker Face will give chase in second. Notre Belbet is in third, and chased along at the back of the field, detached by some 4 lengths, is Savvy Victory as they complete the first quarter of a mile. And it's Saga with head bowed, keen to get on with things, the lead a length and a half over Poker Face likewise, who is straining the reins in second. And then Notre Belbet covered up towards the inside rail, and now closing up. Savvy Victory is in last of the 4 as they go around that dogleg turn. It takes them on now towards the end of the back straight, and it is Saga and Ryan Moore who have still got the lead. To the outside, Poker Face racing in second. To the inside rail, Notre Belbet is in third. Savvy Victory still last the quartet, and now they leave the back straight, and it's Saga who leads the Gala Stakes field. Saga and Ryan Moore by just over a length to Poker Face and James Doyle in second. To the inside rail, Notre Belbet and William Buick in third, and now only a length and a half away, Tom Marquand aboard Savvy Victory, and they've got half a mile to go, and Saga's lead is still a length over Poker Face in second. Towards the inside, Notre Belbet and the back marker, Savvy Victory. They're in line for home and down towards the final 3. Saga runs the rail. Poker Face yet to play his hand on the outside. Ridden along now is Notre Belbet, and on the outside, Savvy Victory now creeps into contention as Poker Face looms upon the outside of Saga, who's now urged for more. Inside the final quarter mile, Saga against the rail. Poker Face down the outside, Savvy Victory. They have now dropped Notre Belbet. They race now on towards the final furlong. Saga just a nose in front over Poker Face. Savvy Victory with every stride gets closer, closer, and now he goes on by them both. It is now Savvy Victory and Tom Marquand from last to first to victory in the Gala Stakes. Savvy Victory over Poker Face and Saga.
Savvy Victory at 17-2, the outsider of the quartet, beat Poker Face, the 6-4 favourite, by 2 1/4 lengths. Things haven't quite gone Savvy Victory's way in his last couple of starts. The ground was too fast and he didn't handle the undulations of Epsom. And then in the Wolferton at Royal Ascot, he got murdered trying to go for a run up the inside. Here, he got plain sailing, ground that he liked, and he came from off the pace to pick up Saga, the pace setter, and Poker Face, who pressed the pace from a long way out.
The winning horse is a Goff's horse.
Sean Woods has just seen Savvy Victory win the Gala Stakes here at Sandown in the blazing heat. He seemed to enjoy conditions out there, and he seemed to get rolling really strongly late on.
Yeah, I mean, it was a race that was made for us, really, because he could sit out the back, and with 4 runners, he could come into the race in his own time. Really, it's not the ground he wants. We've got away with it today. That's drying out all the time. I went and walked it after the marathon, and if there'd have been 8 or 9 runners, he wouldn't have been running today. So, you know, I'm happy that we did. I'm happy he's won, and delighted that, you know, he deserves it. The horse really deserves it.
I suppose at least it started out on the softer side earlier in the week, and at least it's a rising track.
It is, yeah, but we got away with it.
How quick would you say it is out there now?
I think it's perfect ground. I wouldn't be frightened of galloping anything on it, but they made it a good print. But he's a horse who's shown us he wants soft ground. He's a horse that, you know, has had a couple of unlucky stories, but he's grown up so much from 3 to 4, and I can't thank the owners enough for this horse.
I'm really...
Yeah, very frustrating because he had the ground and he had the race, and Tom said he didn't have the pace to keep his position, if that makes sense,
yeah,
because 20-odd runner race, but then he decided to come up the inside and got absolutely smacked. Definitely not.
You're going to wait for the autumn, or you're just going to be ruled by whatever happens weather?
Because these horses are hard to find the right races for, and today we've got away with it. Beaten 3 good horses, so happy days.
Have you got a race? It sounds like you feel like there could be a really good one in him. Do you have a race particularly in mind that you...
Yeah, but I'd like to keep him as he is. He's by New Bay. He's the most gorgeous looking horse, you know, and so I hope things go on from here, but he deserves that, and so do all the people that deal with him.
And what happened at Epsom, by the way?
Ground. Again, you know, you have someone like Ryan on him, and I said to him, what do you think? He said, it's lightning. So he looked after him. You know, he moved into a beautiful position in fourth, and Ryan just stood up on him and brought him home, ground and track. You can't, you know, Epsom Zepsom. If you don't go, you don't go. And, you know, the good thing was he didn't flog him to death there, and people understood.
One that ran really well earlier as well in Nazalan in the Dragon Stakes. Is that horse ready for a step up in trip now?
Definitely. He should have stepped up in trip after he won here. But I was being greedy, and I thought I'd come here for the listed race and glory, and got kicked in the backside for it. So he is a 6 furlong horse. Again, they're doing a good. He's a horse who could. He wants to quickened, and then he quickened again, and that was just he was playing around, you know. So and fooled me, because that's why we came back to 5. But hopefully 6 will see a big improvement. We can ride him like I love it. Full life, so I'm okay. I can't complain.
Okay, well, many congratulations on this win. Best of luck for the rest of the season and the rest of the chapter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
450 at Sandown, the Davis Group handicap over 1 3/4. And we had joint favourites here. Miss Cynthia well back for the Smart Prescott team, and Lionella, they were both 100 to 30.
And they're off. They race over 1 3/4 in the Davis Group handicap. And sent on in the centre is Hurrah in the early stages, with Sea Appeal also being ridden to go forward. And these two now having their own private match race up the hill. And it's Sea Appeal on the outside of Hurrah. Those are the first two. Miss Cynthia is in third. Lionella, the grey, in fourth. Then Further Measure racing in fifth as they reach the top of the hill, with Balboa, the one who is not taking any interest early in the pace duel and has dropped right out the back of the field as now they make the run down the side of the course. So the leader is Sea Appeal, and Sea Appeal moves on now by about 3 lengths. Giving chase now in second is Further Measure. Then Miss Cynthia racing in third. Hurrah was keen to get the lead early, couldn't get it, and is having to settle now for 4th position as they make the turn to go into the back straight. Lionella is racing in 5th as they head down the back. On that one's outside is Percy Jones, who is next. After Percy Jones is Liable, as they're getting well strung out going down the back straight. Sea Houses is then being followed by Heza La Chico, and then towards the rear of the field, still last of all, is Balboa, and Military Decoration is last but one. So it is Sea Appeal and George Rook. They're out clear now by the best part of 6 lengths to Further Measure, who is racing in second position. And then in third is Hurrah, racing on the inside of Miss Cynthia. They're in a dispute now of third and fourth. In fifth is Lionella. In 6th position is Percy Jones, and then Liable with Sea Houses. Military Decoration still towards the rear of the field with Heza La Chico, and last of all is Balboa. So going into that far turn, Sea Appeal still with a handy advantage. Not as far clear, however. The lead's reduced to 4 lengths by Further Measure in second. Hurrah in third against the rail, and Miss Cynthia around the outside is next, followed by Percy Jones alongside Lionella, and then Sea Houses and Liable. And after these is Military Decoration as they now begin to make the run back towards home. Heza La Chico still in the last 2, so too Balboa, who's always been last. And it is Sea Appeal who still has a handy advantage. He's kicked again inside the final 3, and the lead now is out to 5 lengths over Hurrah, who is in second. Miss Cynthia is in third, and then Lionella, and all of a sudden now Sea Appeal begins to paddle, and here comes the peloton down the outside. Hurrah together with Miss Cynthia, and then Percy Jones on the wide outside. Heza La Chico is getting involved. Military Decoration is running a big race. They're racing now on towards the final furlong. Heza La Chico and Miss Cynthia are now the first 2. Percy Jones is back in third place. It is Heza La Chico and Tom Quealy are out in front and going clear on the run to the line. A hat-trick of wins, 2 over hurdles, and now 1 on the flat for Heza La Chico. Miss Cynthia in second, Percy Jones in third, and Military Decoration was fourth.
Heza La Chico at 14 to 1, beat Miss Cynthia 100 to 30 joint favourite, and Percy Jones third at 12 to 1. 11 ran. Well, the overall time for this race, just to tick over 3 minutes 3 seconds, was quite fast, and that was courtesy of Sea Appeal, who took them along at a decent gallop, was clear entering the home straight, but was run down in the closing stages by the closers, firstly by Miss Cynthia, and then Heza La Chico flying through the field for Tom Quealy and Gary Moore. He's won his last 2 hurdle races, and now he wins again on the flat.
His Lachiko has just won here at Sandown. He really is a money spinner and a winning horse. He knows how to win, doesn't he? Two hurdle races, 3 all-weather wins, and now this one in the hands of Tom Quealy here. Tom, what did you make of it?
Yeah, like he's a horse that's on an upward curve, and he's really sort of found his groove of late. You know, obviously, when you can switch him from jumps to flat, back and forth, it's sort of sometimes it instills a new sense of enthusiasm, and that's clearly worked the oracle here.
And how did the race pan out for you?
I looked at it and I didn't think there was a whole lot of pace, and obviously a few other people did, so as a result there ended up being a decent enough pace, and I was a little further back than I wanted it, but obviously I was able to sort of feel my way through, and I knew he'd stay well up the hill. He hadn't kind of gone this far on flat, but it's always comforting to know today they stay out the races over jumps, and he had that stamina there. Although it is a different discipline, the two do tie in, you know, so I was lucky enough, you know, he's on it, like I said, he's on an upward curve.
Very much so. But there was a point when you were angling out where you would just sort of briefly check.
I was kind of riding for all the luck in the world, and I was nearly going to continue to go the rail, and then I thought, well, why push her luck when I'm going this well? I might as well look for an out, and then I can sort of sit up and run the bit through his mouth and then save a bit for on up the hill. So it's nice for Gary and Danny O'Neill, who's, I think it's his birthday today, or
really?
Yeah, so he's from basically same town as me back home. His dad and my uncle were friends, so so it's nice. It's nice when it comes together, you know. So that's Gary's doing, not mine.
Well, that's particularly
not
lovely.
to mess it up, yeah.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
No, I didn't. No.
Is there more to come from this horse?
I think so. You know, like he liked that ground. It's grounds the course in excellent condition, and that played to his strengths. And like he started from low grade stuff on the flat, and he's grown up and he's maturing into a nice horse. So yeah, I would say there is more to come. I'd like to think there is anyway. He's a nice horse and he's going places.
And how would you describe the ground? Because obviously we've had beating sun all day. We started off on the soft side of good this morning. What do you think it is now?
Yeah, they've obviously splashed loads on it, and it's on the good side of good to firm, you know, good ground. So I'd imagine it would be perfect racing ground for tomorrow, which is what I'd imagine they're aiming for, you know.
And are you back here tomorrow?
I am, yeah.
And if anything, I haven't looked at tomorrow's card. What are you particularly looking forward to?
I'm not in the big race, but you'd have to pay close attention to that. And I ride a nice horse called Miller Spirit, who's got, you know, it's early stage of his career yet, but he's sort of, I think he'll be a nice horse to come win races in the future, hopefully.
Okay. Who do you fancy in the clips?
I think Aidan holds all the aces really. You know, it'll be good. You know, it's a small field, but it'll be interesting. And I think tactics will come into play, and it looks like a match race with two others in there. So, but I was impressed at Ascot with him. So I think, you know.
Right. Well, let's see what pans out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
here. Best of luck for you tomorrow as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Final race was a female amateur jockey handicap over a mile. Roman Dynasty, the even money favourite.
And they're off. Looks as though stall 7, Lunar Magic, may have just nudged his gate as the button was pressed, and he's going to be forward as they go through the early stages. The Vintage Acquisitions Whiskey Chaser handicap around the outside. Hoots Toots has moved through to claim the lead with Lunar Magic, and right up against the inside rail is Imperial Cult, and those are the first 3. Very, very keen and quite wide on the course is Keeper's Choice as they race towards the end of the back straight, with Goldsmith the one who's slightly detached at the back of the field. The others, though, are very tightly bunched indeed as they lead the back straight behind them. So it's Imperial Cult on the inside of Hoots Toots. These are the first 2. Brunel Charm and Gavi de Gavi now in 3rd and 4th places. Lunar Magic is racing in 5th, with around the outside Keeper's Choice just plotting quite a wide course. And then Roman Dynasty, who's on the outside of Marsh Benham. Break then of a couple of lengths to Brilliant Blue as they make the turn into the home straight. So Plato is being ridden along, and Goldsmith is still at the back of the field. So it's Gavi de Gavi in the centre of the course who moves through to take the lead at the 3 furlong pole. Gavi de Gavi has gone on to Hoots Toots, who is trying to pick him up. Then towards the inside rail, staying on, is Brunel Charm. In after these is Lunar Magic, out very wide. Goldsmith is also picking up as Marsh Benham tries to weave his way through towards the inside outside rail as they're now racing on towards the final furlong. Gavi de Gavi has got the lead over Goldsmith together with Roman Dynasty. These are now the first three on the inside. Marsh Benham, but it is Gavi de Gavi who has a lead of just over a length. Roman Dynasty is eating into that lead as they race up towards the line. Gavi de Gavi over Roman Dynasty. A break then back to the third, who was Goldsmith, and in fourth Marsh Benham.
Gavi de Gavi at 14-1 wins for Alan King. Roman Dynasty second, even money favourite, and Goldsmith third at 9-1. Well, Gavi de Gavi was always prominent, a race that was quite steadily run in the early part of it, and struck for home ahead of the favourite, who was hampered when throwing down a challenge inside the final quarter mile. The third horse, exaggerated hold-up tactics on that one, ran on strongly and then weakened late on, perhaps one to keep an eye on.
Gavi de Gavi has won our final race here at Sandown, and Georgia King was on board for her dad, Alan. Congratulations. How did that go?
Yeah, thank you, very well. I was hoping Dad was going to be here, but unfortunately me and Dan were hitched it. And yeah, he can be keen. I rode him at Newbury the other week. The plan today was just getting to drop in, settle. I probably hit the front a bit sooner than I wanted, but he saw it out to the line and did it well.
I thought he took you to the front, really, didn't he? He was just going so well.
Yeah, he did really. All my wins on him have been 7 or a mile, and it's his first win on the turf, actually. And yeah, he took me there well. I felt the one on my outside, but we got to the line just in time.
Yeah, I mean, it was close with Roman Dynasty. Were you confident as you crossed the line?
Yeah, I knew I just held on, and he saw it out nicely to the line, so I thought we'd just get it.
And so what does the season hold for you now? I mean, what are you planning to do?
Well, I'd been amateur before. I went apprentice for a little while, and I never really got going and wasn't going to make it, so I came back amateur. Spent a winter in Dubai, and this is only my second ride since I've come back from there. So just get a few more spins as an amateur, really, doing it for a bit of fun. And then I ride out for Dad at home, where we've got plenty in, so always busy.
Yeah, I was wondering that, because obviously you did take out your licence and you just couldn't get rolling.
Yeah, I mean, all my 3 winners actually were as apprentice. But my last one, it was 2 years ago this month, actually, at Kempton, an apprentice race on Gavi. So it's been a long time coming to this one. But yeah, realistically, I don't think it was really going to plan out for me, but I love doing it for fun, so amateur was the way forward.
There are lots of opportunities during the course of the year, though, now.
Yeah, loads. I mean, there's so many amateur races, like for girls as well, like today, and it's brilliant that we all get a chance to ride often. And yeah.
So you like combining that with basically working for your dad and helping bring horses on?
Yeah, like we have a good group of flat horses now, and I love doing the 2-year-olds and bringing them on. I'm doing a little bit in the office from at home, so just find my feet of what I want to do long term, really.
So basically just trying a lot of things.
Yeah, I always want to keep it in the racing, and ideally with Dad, we've got a great setup at home, so absolutely. It's great.
Yeah, okay. Well, many congratulations. Nice to see you back on a winner.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thanks, well done.
Winners at Sandown then, the beginning of the Coral Eclipse meeting. Dream Composer took the sprint at the beginning. Killian was impressive in the Dragon Stakes, a 6th-length winner of that listed race for 2-year-olds. Ubir back in the winners' enclosure, down in class and racing at 2 miles for the first time. Starlaw won the Novice Stakes for Sir Michael Stout and Ryan Moore. Savvy Victory took the Gala Stakes, that listed race. He was the outsider of the lot. He's a Lachico, a winner for Gary Moore, and Gavi de Gavi won for Alan King. As far as the winning times were concerned, they were suggesting that the ground was good and certainly no worse than that. And furlong per furlong, the best performance was put up by Savvy Victory in the 4:15.